Is it a war crime if a sniper shoots an enemy soldier in the balls? Good question. If I'm not wrong, some of the earlier sniping videos during the Ukraine war seemed to suggest that shots were being taken at below the chest armor on Russians. If there is any truth to this, those were probably still a small minority, because most of the videos are from far further than a distance at which this would be a feasible option. Also, the calibers used are sufficiently large and the Russian body armor sufficiently useless that it really doesn't matter. Possibly. If he just shoots him, no. If he tells everyone I'm gonna shoot this dude in the balls and let him bleed painfully lol, then possibly a war crime. You're not meant to purposefully maim people, but for the most part you have a lot of latitude to disable an enemy. Also, the .3 Winchester Magnum is probably gonna end you wherever they hit. I'm not an expert and am merely assuming that dealing unnecessary pain torture would be a war crime. I also think specifically targeting civilians is a war crime, and killing doctors if I remember correctly. You may be overestimating the accuracy of snipers in the real world, unless they are citing Buster Goned, I suppose. If you really are in a war of hatred, all the rules and laws made by whoever won't be followed by everyone. It's a war crime if you inflict unnecessary suffering on the enemy. Then again, for some enemies, I deem such pain wholly necessary. That's not cool, Butters. You don't shoot a guy in the dick. It's not a war crime the first time. After that, it looks like a habit and will be seen as cruelty. Yeah, you don't know about the no balls rule? Actual war crime conventions do not specify anything that precise. Be mindful that a lot of humanitarian agencies' discussions of war crime conventions are their interpretations of some of the vaguer parts of these laws. Most prohibited acts of war against other soldiers involve treachery or perfidy, for example, pretending to surrender then blasting when they let their guard down, or shooting soldiers who were wounded or prisoner and clearly out of combat. Conventions specify that you can't use weapons designed to inflict superfluous harm or injury, but there's nothing against shooting active enemy soldiers in ways that inflict excessive pain and suffering. Once they are down, though, you shouldn't shoot them again. Depends on intent. Intentionally maximizing pain and/or wounding instead of killing to burden the enemy's health care system would be a war crime. Happening to hit nuts in a small arms conflict would not be. More of a bro crime.